talked about so far, and then we'll move forward. We're on page 48 of the Little Atheist book, the Engage questions. Number 1 says, respond to the objection that intelligent design is not science. And science is defined as the search for causes. So if science is the search for causes, there's more cause to believe in intelligent design, that God created the universe, that God created living things, than there is to believe in evolution. And then secondly, if intelligent design, ID, isn't science, then neither is Darwinism. And then question 2 is respond to the objection that intelligent design commits the God of the gaps fallacy. And the God of the gaps fallacy is when people don't understand, and when people didn't understand in ancient times about the natural causes of things, they'd say the gods were doing something in heaven, and that was what was causing on earth. So that's the God in the gaps fallacy. When we don't have a natural answer, then we, automatically go to some sort of supernatural answer. And so we talked about how it's not that we don't understand the science. So we say the answer is God. We do understand the science, and we do have empirical evidence. We have scientific evidence for what we believe in a creator. And then also, ID scientists are open to both natural and intelligent causes. Darwinists are not. They take God completely out of the picture. They're not open to going, if the evidence leads to God, they won't go there, even if that's where the evidence goes. ID scientists are open to both natural and intelligent causes. And then here's the next one. So here's where they missed the whole camps. We'll get to the answer. So do you understand this term falsifiable? If you create an argument that is that not that it's so true that it can't be false, it's that you set it up so you can't, if it is false, you can't know that it's false. Does that make sense? So if something is falsifiable, it is stated in such a way as it can be proved false if it is false. Make sense? Okay. So intelligent design is falsifiable. It could be proven false. Darwinianism is not falsifiable. When they learn of something that goes against it, they come up with some theory like panspermia or multiverse or whatever to say, well, no, but what if this is true? It's not falsifiable. It can't be proven false, not because it's true, but because it's set up in such a way that it won't allow anyone to question. That's not good academic thinking. That's not proper academic thinking. And the truth is that it is the Darwinists who are putting something in the gap. They're putting evolution in the gap. Number 3, respond to the objection that intelligent design is religiously motivated. What did the book have to say about that?
The science points to agree, not necessarily agree.
Yeah. So the science, first of all, intelligent design is actually based on the science, actually based on the evidence. It's not based on the Bible. It's based on the science, on the evidence. Now, The findings are consistent with the Bible. When you read from a naturalist scientist that the fossil record looks like animals appeared suddenly, and when they became extinct, they looked very much the same as when they appeared. That's based on the science, right? That's based on the observation of the fossil record. But it's consistent with the account of creation in Genesis 2. So the findings of intelligent design are consistent with the Bible, but they're not based on the Bible. You will not hear, I'm not going to say you will not hear any, because you'll probably find some crackpot somewhere that says that's what Genesis, God said it, I believe it, and that settles it. Genesis 2 says God created. No, we're talking about scientists here. We're talking about Christian scientists, intelligent design scientists. And yes, they believe the Bible, but they also believe the science that is consistent with the Bible. They're not using Genesis 2 for their findings. They're using the fossil record. They're using logic. They're using observation, those things. So the findings of intelligent design are consistent with the Bible, but not based on the Bible. And then question number 4 says this: respond to the objection that intelligent design is false because the so-called design isn't perfect. If God created the universe, then it should be perfect. If he's perfect, his creation should be perfect. How would you answer someone that asked you that? Yes. Yeah. Now, they probably wouldn't accept that, right? Oh, sin marred it. I would say, who's to say what is perfect or imperfect, right? In terms of beauty, we all have different standards, right? Sometimes I wish I would have lived in the Renaissance, because the most beautiful women were the chunky ones. In the Renaissance, chunky women were the epitome of beauty, not stick-thin supermodels. Who's to say what is optimal? Who's to say what is imperfect? And then imperfect design doesn't equal no design. I read a lot of articles. It was 2 weeks I was at home, and one of them was that SAC has just retired a plane. It's the first plane they've retired in a long, long time. And what did they call it? I think they called it the Widowmaker or something like that. Like, this plane had so many problems, this particular plane, and a series of pilots who it had been in service since 1956. It had been in service since before my father was at Offutt in the late 50s. And all these different guys that had piloted this particular plane talked about the problems they had with the plane, right? But would you say, well, that plane wasn't designed because look at all the problems it had? Would you say there was no design behind it? No. Imperfect design does not mean no design. Now, as Caitlin pointed out, we believe as followers of Christ, based on the Bible, not based on the science, based on the Bible, that the world was perfect and sin marred the world. But you can't use that argument with an atheist. You can use the argument of the design of this isn't perfect. My car, I love the way my car looks. I love the way the turning radius in my car. I love the pickup on my car. It'll shoot out. I blew Senora out of the water when we left school last night after the 8th graders meeting. I just had to get out. I would never buy that car again because it's swooped back, the windows are small, and right here are two big posts, and coming straight out of the posts are my rearview mirrors. I have no vision right here, and I have no vision right here, and I can't tell you how many. I now have to do this to look because I can't tell you how many times I haven't seen a pedestrian starting to cross the street or a car because it's in my blind spot for that long. That car was carefully designed. It's not perfect. It was still carefully designed. So yeah, I wouldn't get a Kia Sportage. They're cute. And then the final one is they're presuming to know the mind of God, the Creator. They're presuming to know more than God knows, right? Okay, any questions on that? Here's what you're going to do with the rest of your hour. I was thinking about reading aloud to you, but frankly, I didn't sleep well last night, and you can pray for my family, particularly my husband. I won't be here in the middle of the day. Having a graveside service for my husband's mother. She's 97 and she loved Jesus. She's ready, but that's still hard. So I'm not going to read aloud to you. You're going to read pages 161 to 167. If somebody else wants to read aloud, you're welcome to do that. You're going to read pages 161 167. That should be to the end of the chapter, if I'm remembering correctly. And if you have time, this isn't homework. If you have time, complete question number 10 in the equip. Okay, if you have time.
Interesting.